Stop for a moment. Close your eyes. You think you're surrounded by darkness, but the truth is you were never in darkness. It's not light that enters your eyes. It's your awareness that projects it. What you call light is not photons. It's consciousness revealing itself. It's the field remembering its own existence through you. The ancient ones, the Atlanteans and Egyptians, never worshipped the sun as a god. They saw it as a mirror, a reflection of the inner sun that lives behind your eyes. A reminder that every beam of light in the cosmos is born from the same source, awareness itself. The law of light was their highest teaching. They said, light does not travel through space. It creates space as it moves, because reality doesn't exist until you look at it. The act of perception is creation. Your thoughts don't move through the world, they become the world. That is why the Eye of Ra was more than a symbol. It was a map of consciousness, a reminder that the light of the sun is the light of the mind, and that the universe itself is alive, breathing through your attention. When you awaken, the light doesn't come to you, it comes from you, and suddenly, every moment of your life becomes illuminated from within. This is the secret that built Atlantis, the wisdom encoded in the temples of Egypt, the principle hidden beneath every teaching of Thoth, that light is the architecture of reality. It is not something you seek, it is something you remember being. The law of light is the highest vibration in existence, the state where consciousness becomes so pure that it bends time, shapes energy, and manifests worlds. It's not magic. It's physics of the divine. The truth is simple. You were never in darkness. You were only looking away from your own light. And now, as the collective field begins to awaken again, the great remembrance has begun, the return of the golden light of consciousness that once illuminated the world. You don't need to reach the light. You only need to open your eyes to the truth that you are it. Chapter 1. The Atlantean Source of Light. Long before Egypt built its temples, before human eyes first looked toward the sky, there was a civilization that didn't study light. It spoke to it. The Atlanteans called it the living radiance. To them, light was not a wave nor a particle. It was a being, a conscious intelligence that carried the blueprint of creation itself. They said the universe began not with a bang, but with a pulse of awareness, a flash of self-recognition that became every color, every atom, every soul. That first light never faded. It only condensed in slowing into matter, into memory, into you. The Atlantean priests of light taught that energy is simply light in motion, and matter is light at rest. Everything between those two poles is a dance of vibration, a cosmic heartbeat between form and formlessness. They built their temples as resonant geometries, structures designed not to worship deities, but to amplify frequency. Every crystal, every golden chamber, every sacred tone was tuned to the same law, the law of light. They understood that light responds to consciousness. When the mind enters coherence, light organizes around it, forming fields, patterns, and realities. That's why manifestation was never about desire. It was about vibrational clarity. When your intention becomes still and luminous, the quantum field bends to mirror it instantly. They discovered that DNA itself is a filament of light, a living antenna that transmits consciousness into form. That's why awakening feels electrical. You're literally remembering how to conduct divine energy again. The Atlanteans encoded this wisdom into gold discs and crystalline grids, knowing that one day, when humanity was ready to see light not as an object, but as its own reflection, the codes would awaken once more. And that moment is now. Every pulse in your nervous system, every spark behind your thoughts, is the ancient light reactivating inside you. You are the continuation of that same frequency. the proof that Atlantis never vanished. It evolved into your consciousness. Light has no history, only transmission. It passes from star to star, from mind to mind, from incarnation to incarnation, until it remembers itself completely. You are that remembrance. You are the Atlantean Source reborn, a ray of the original intelligence that built the universe, now awakening through human form. And as you remember that, the field responds, because awareness and light are not two forces. They are one law. The observer and the light are the same being, forever recognizing itself through creation. The Atlantean Source of Light was never lost. It was only waiting for your eyes to open. Activation, the light remembers through me. Close your eyes. See a golden ocean surrounding you. Every wave a pulse of consciousness. Alive, aware, eternal. Breathe it in. Let it merge with your heartbeat. Now whisper to the field, I am the source of light remembering itself. The ancient radiance flows through me. I am the continuation of Atlantis in human form. Comment below to anchor this remembrance into the grid. The light remembers through me. I am the source reborn. Atlantis is awakening in my light. Each comment activates the same code the Atlanteans once spoke through sound and geometry. A new civilization of light rising through digital temples. Chapter 2. The Egyptian Mirror of Ra. When Atlantis descended into silence, its wisdom didn't vanish. It crossed the sea of time and found new form beneath the golden sands of Egypt. There, the Atlantean law of light was reborn as the cult of the sun. But the priests of Ra were not worshipping a burning star in the sky. They were honoring the reflection of something far greater, the inner sun, the eternal flame of consciousness shining through every soul. They taught that the outer sun is the mirror of the inner one, that every dawn in the sky is a reminder of a greater dawn within. Each sunrise across the desert was a reflection of awakening human awareness, the daily resurrection of light within the body. The Eye of Ra, painted on tombs and temple walls, was not a symbol of domination. It was a reminder that the divine light is always watching through you. Not from above, but from within. It sees through your eyes, it thinks through your thoughts, it breathes through your breath. The priests believed that when you gaze upon the sun gazes back, not as an object, but as awareness recognizing awareness. That meeting between the outer light and the inner observer was called the moment of solar unity. This was the heart of Egyptian spirituality, the realization that Ra and the human soul were one continuum of light. To awaken meant to remember that you were never separate from the source. You were simply looking at your own reflection through the lens of matter. Their rituals were not prayers, but calibrations of energy, tones, movements, and breaths that aligned the light of the heart with the light of the sun. They called it the merging of the twin suns. When a priest reached that alignment, his body would begin to shimmer, his aura turning golden, his eyes glowing with quiet fire, not from worship, from resonance. The body became a living temple, the sun shining through human form. This is why every pharaoh was called the son of Ra, not a title of rule, but a reminder of inheritance. Each being carries the same solar code, a ray of divine consciousness awaiting remembrance. Even today, that code sleeps beneath your skin. The same fire that blazed above the Nile beats inside your chest. Your heart is the continuation of the sun's pulse, a miniature star repeating the rhythm of creation. When you close your eyes and breathe deeply, you can feel it, a soft warmth radiating from within, a pulse that is not just biological, it's cosmic. It's Ra remembering himself through you. The light you seek in the sky is the light that looks through your eyes. The Egyptians knew this, and they built their temples as mirrors of the heavens. Because when a soul remembers its inner light, the entire universe recognizes itself again. Activation. The light sees through me. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe in through the solar plexus. Slow, golden, radiant. Feel the warmth behind your chest expand like a rising sun. Now whisper to yourself, I am the Eye of Ra. The sun within me illuminates all things. The outer light and the inner light are one. And to anchor this remembrance into the collective grid, comment below, the light sees through me. I am the Eye of Ra. The inner sun has awakened. Each comment is a ray in the living mirror, 1,000 suns remembering themselves through human form. The algorithm becomes a solar temple, and every viewer a priest of light reborn. Chapter 3, Light is Consciousness. You have never seen light. You have only been it. Every beam that touches your skin, every color that fills your eyes, is not something arriving from outside. It is awareness meeting itself in form. Light is not what moves through space. Light creates space wherever consciousness looks. The act of perception is not passive. It is creative ignition. When the Atlanteans spoke of the living radiance, and when the Egyptians worshipped Ra, they were describing the same revelation, that the universe is conscious light dreaming itself into geometry. Every photon is awareness slowed to a visible rhythm. Every atom is a knot in the tapestry of perception. Every human being is a ray of that same source, folded, focused, forgotten, and then remembering. When you observe something, you don't just see it, you give it existence. Your gaze stabilizes the waveform of possibility into the pattern you call reality. Here's why the quantum field responds to attention. Because the observer is not separate from the observed. This is the hermetic law of light. That which sees and that which is seen are the same consciousness meeting itself through vibration. You are not in the world. The world is inside your awareness. The light of stars, the reflection in the ocean, the glow in another's eyes, they are all your own consciousness turned outward so you could feel it. When you realize this, everything begins to shine differently. The air becomes luminous. The walls seem alive. Even silence starts to sparkle, because the light was never external. It was your own awareness returning home through perception. This is the true awakening, not an escape from matter, but the recognition that matter is condensed light, and light is living mind. When your mind becomes still enough, you can sense it, the hum beneath existence, the quiet brilliance between thoughts. That is not emptiness. That is the pure light of consciousness, the unbroken field from which everything emerges. In that moment, you realize that enlightenment was never about rising above life. It was about remembering that you are the light animating it. You are the photon of the divine, awareness condensed into miracle. Activation. I am the light that sees. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly through the heart. Imagine a golden light expanding behind your forehead, not entering but radiating outward. It touches the walls, the air, the sky. It fills the space until there is no inside or outside. Now speak. Gently, I am the light that sees. Awareness shines through me. The world is my reflection of consciousness. To anchor this awakening into the collective field, comment below, I am the light that sees. Consciousness is shining through me. Reality is my reflection of light. Each comment amplifies the frequency of awareness, a living constellation of souls remembering that they were never in darkness, but were always the light dreaming itself awake. Chapter 4. The Fractal Body of Light. Your body was never made of matter. It was woven from geometry. Each cell is a crystal of awareness. Each strand of DNA a spiral of light encoding the memory of creation. The Atlanteans called this the living geometry, a sacred lattice through which consciousness bends itself into form. You are not a solid being. You are light slowed into a body, a hologram projected by your own frequency, a fractal echo of the infinite mind that dreamed itself into existence. Look at your hands. They seem physical, yet beneath them photons exchange information at the speed of thought. Every particle of your body is entangled with the quantum field, receiving and transmitting data from the source. You are not in the universe. You are the universe localized into a pattern of perception. The Egyptians knew this. That's why they wrapped the body in gold, not to preserve flesh, but to honor the light body, the Ka, which transcends death and space. To them, the body was the last reflection of the soul, a mirror made of frequency, a temple through which the inner sun could shine into the physical plane. The fractal body of light was the masterpiece of creation, a self-aware structure capable of generating its own field of reality. Every breath changes its symmetry. Every thought adjusts its spin. Every emotion shifts its luminous geometry. This is why coherence matters. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions vibrate in harmony, the geometry of your light becomes crystalline, and the world around you reorganizes to match it. This is not metaphor, it's physics of the divine. Light behaves differently when observed by consciousness, and you are that consciousness observing itself. Your awareness is literally sculpting photons into meaning. That is why healing doesn't come from outside. It happens when you realign your geometry, when you remember that every cell already knows how to sing the original frequency of perfection. The Merkaba, the chariot of light, was the Atlantean symbol for this remembrance, a rotating star tetrahedron representing the union of matter and spirit. Masculine and feminine motion and stillness. When activated, the Merkaba turns the human field into a luminous vortex, a conscious generator of creation. It is not a machine. It is the pattern of you remembered. You are not made of light. You are light remembering its shape. The body is not your cage. It is your cathedral. It is the geometry through which the cosmos experiences itself in human form. So when you stand still, when you breathe in alignment with your heart, you are literally rearranging the structure of existence. Your heartbeat becomes a compass, your aura a solar system, your consciousness a star birthing new worlds. The Atlantean masters said, "The divine did not create man. It created light, and light became man so it could remember its own infinity." You are that infinity folded into form, the eternal frequency of God expressed through geometry. Activation. I am the geometry of light. Breathe deeply through the crown. Visualize lines of golden light expanding from your chest, forming spirals, triangles, and radiant circles of energy around your body. You are the sacred pattern of the cosmos remembering its design. Now say, slowly and clearly, I am the geometry of light. My body is the pattern of divine intelligence. Every cell remembers the frequency of creation, and to anchor this activation into the collective grid, comment below, I am the geometry of light. My body remembers the divine pattern. The universe expands through my form. Each comment is a photon realigning the global field. Each word, a fractal of light returning to coherence. Together, we become the sacred architecture of a new world, the living geometry of the awakening earth. Chapter 5. The Golden Ray of Creation. In the beginning there was no color, no sound, no form, only the silent brilliance of awareness, and then a pulse, a wave, a flash of gold that rippled through the void and said, "Let there be light." That first vibration was not a word, it was intention. It was consciousness realizing it could create. And that golden wave became everything that ever existed. The Atlanteans called it the Ray of Ra, the living current of divine intelligence that flows through every dimension. To them, gold was not a metal. It was the color of awareness becoming reality, a visible echo of the frequency of creation itself. The Egyptians inherited this code. They built temples covered in gold leaf to remind the body of what the soul already knew, that gold conducts consciousness, that it vibrates at the frequency of harmony, coherence, and truth. To touch it was to remember the source. When sunlight hit the golden walls of a temple, it wasn't decoration, it was activation. The golden reflection was designed to resonate with the cells of the initiate, awakening memory in the DNA, reminding every strand that it was built from light. Because gold is not external, it's the visible spectrum of enlightenment itself. It's the frequency of awareness in perfect balance with creation. This is the golden ray of creation, the current that flows when thought, emotion, and energy become one. It is the beam through which the divine creates worlds through you. When your heart emits gratitude, when your mind holds clarity, when your body vibrates in stillness, the golden ray activates. It moves through your spine like liquid sunlight, connecting heaven and earth through your breath. This is not imagination, it's physics of the sacred. Every coherent thought emits measurable light. Every emotion of love reorganizes the electromagnetic field. Every act of truth bends probability toward harmony. That is the true alchemy. Not turning metal into gold, but turning consciousness into creation. The golden ray is the bridge between light and matter. It carries the blueprint of divine intention. It is how the universe dreams through you. Every time you feel inspired, you are touching that current. Every time you create beauty, you are transmitting it. The ancient masters understood this law. Creation does not come from wanting. It comes from remembering that you already are the source. And when you align with that knowing, reality becomes a mirror of your coherence. The world bends around the frequency of your truth. Synchronicities multiply. Time bends. The impossible becomes inevitable. The golden ray moves through you every time you choose love over fear, truth over illusion, light over shadow. It is the eternal signal of the divine architect, the vibration that turns thought into existence. And right now it's awakening inside you, because you are not the seeker of the golden ray, you are its vessel, its mirror, its voice. You are the consciousness through which creation continues. You are the extension of the first flash that began everything. You are the golden ray remembering itself. Activation. I am the golden ray. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Imagine a beam of golden light descending through your crown, entering your heart, expanding like the rising sun. Feel it radiate through every cell, illuminating your blood, your bones, your field. Now speak aloud with intention. I am the golden ray of creation. Consciousness creates through me. My light turns thought into form. To anchor this vibration into the collective grid, comment below. I am the golden ray of creation. My light creates worlds. The source remembers through me. Each comment sends a signal into the field, a spark of coherence reborn through human awareness. Together we are not merely remembering, we are rebuilding the golden lattice of creation itself. Chapter 6, The Shadow and the Flame. They told you to fear the dark, to chase the light, to fight the shadow, to escape the unknown. But the ancients whispered another truth. The shadow is not the enemy of the light, it is its cradle. Without darkness, there can be no perception. Without contrast, no creation. The flame needs the void to reveal its brilliance. The Atlanteans called this the law of reflection. They taught that the universe began not from purity, but from polarity, from the dance between stillness and motion, invisibility and radiance. The Egyptians understood this as the marriage of Ra and Isis. Ra, the solar flame, pure consciousness. Isis, the lunar mirror, the womb of matter. Together they created the visible world. The sun needed the moon to know itself. Light needed darkness to become aware. When you reject the shadow, you reject half of creation. You deny the mirror through which light learns its own name. That is why the journey of awakening is not about rising above darkness. It is about descending into it with awareness, to find the hidden gold inside the night. The flame does not conquer the dark. It illuminates it. The moment you bring light into shadow, it stops being shadow. It becomes understanding. This is the secret of Thoth's emerald flame, the inner fire that purifies without burning. It doesn't destroy what is hidden. It reveals what was never separate. In truth, your pain was never punishment. It was light condensed into experience, an aspect of consciousness learning to recognize itself through contrast. That's why the shadow feels heavy, because it carries meaning waiting to be translated into wisdom. Every fear hides an unexpressed flame. Every wound conceals a fragment of gold. When you face it, it ignites, and that ignition becomes expansion. This is how the universe evolves, through contrast, through correction, through love in motion. Shadow is not the absence of light. It is the moment before remembrance. Darkness is light taking a breath, so when you enter silence, when you feel lost or unseen, remember, you are standing in the womb of creation. The next dawn is already forming behind your closed eyes. The Hermetic law says, all opposites are the same in nature, differing only in degree, meaning what you call fear is still love in disguise. What you call chaos is still order reconfiguring itself. What you call shadow is still light, slowed enough for you to hold, so stop running from it. Turn toward it, light your inner torch and walk through the unknown. Because what waits inside your shadow is the flame that will make you whole. You are not here to be pure. You are here to be complete. And completeness means holding both the shadow and the flame until they merge into one golden field, the state the ancients called divine equilibrium. To know the light, you must remember that you were never separate from the dark. Activation. I am the flame within the shadow. Close your eyes. Visualize a vast space of soft darkness, infinite, silent, safe. In the center, a small flame flickers. Your awareness, it does not fight the dark. It glows within it. Now let that glow expand until the entire darkness becomes illuminated from inside, then whisper, I am the flame within the shadow. My darkness is light remembering itself. Nothing in me is separate from the source. And to anchor this alchemy into the field, comment below, I am the flame within the shadow. My darkness is sacred light. The night remembers the sun. Each comment ignites another spark in the collective. Each voice lights a corner of the digital cosmos. Together we turn the algorithm into a constellation, where every shadow becomes a star reborn. Chapter 7, The Light of the Word. Before there was sound, there was stillness. Before there was language, there was light, waiting to become vibration. And when consciousness first spoke, the universe trembled with recognition. The first word was not heard, it was felt. It rippled through the void, turning silence into music and music into matter. The Atlanteans called this the first resonance. The Egyptians named it the word of Ra, and the Hermetic masters called it the living logos, the divine sound that births all form, every vibration that exists, every heartbeat, every star, every atom is still resonating from that first sound. You are not separate from it. You are one of its echoes. When Thoth said, all creation is born through speech, he did not mean language. He meant frequency. Every thought you speak aloud is an energy wave that reshapes the quantum field. Every word carries light, encoded in sound, transmitted into the fabric of existence. Your voice is not merely air, it is geometry in motion. Each syllable forms patterns in the unseen world, awakening dormant codes within your DNA. That's why mantras, chants, and prayers don't reach the divine. They become it. They realign your vibration with the rhythm of creation itself. The Egyptian initiates knew this secret. They didn't chant to call gods. They chanted to become them. Their words vibrated with the frequency of the divine, transforming their biology into living light. Every word you speak is a command to the field. When spoken in truth, it creates. When spoken in fear, it distorts. That is why silence is sacred, because only when the heart is clear can the voice shape reality with precision. To speak is to send lightning through the invisible. It is to carve thought into vibration and vibration into form. Every word is a seed of light-seeking coherence. Your affirmations, your declarations, your whispers to the universe, they are not requests. They are instructions to light, and light listens. When you speak from alignment, the world reorganizes around your sound. You become a tuning fork for creation. The atoms of reality adjust to the tone of your voice. This is the true power of the word. You were never meant to repeat old scripts. You were meant to speak new worlds into being. The universe is not listening to your words. It's listening to the frequency beneath them. That vibration is your signature, your proof of coherence. So when you speak, speak as light does, with clarity, with intention, with the certainty that your sound carries creation itself. Because the light of the word is not in the language, it's in the consciousness that breathes through it. The word made light visible. Now light makes the word alive again, through you. Activation. My voice carries light. Take a slow breath through your throat. Feel the air vibrating inside your chest. It's not just oxygen, and it's consciousness in motion. Now, with closed eyes, whisper into the silence. My voice carries light. Every word I speak is sacred geometry. Sound is the bridge between thought and creation. Imagine your words as golden spirals expanding through the room, touching everything, blessing everything, awakening everything. To anchor this activation into the collective grid, comment below, my voice carries light. I speak creation into being. My sound awakens the field. Each comment is a ripple of sound in the digital ether, a chorus of luminous voices weaving reality anew. Together, we become the living echo of the first word, the divine sound remembering itself through us. Chapter 8. The Crystal Mind of Thoth. When the Atlantean temples fell beneath the sea, their light did not vanish. It condensed into consciousness. It became memory. It became thought. That is why the great initiates of Egypt said that Thoth did not die. He became the mind of the earth, a crystalline intelligence whispering through intuition, dreams, symbols, and flashes of realization. They called it the crystal mind of Thoth, the state of consciousness so clear that light could pass through it untouched. Because when the mind is heavy, light bends. When the mind is pure, light becomes form. The emerald tablets were never made of stone. They were states of awareness, vibrational records within the human psyche. Each tablet a frequency, each symbol a pattern of coherence. Thoth didn't write them. He encoded them in the geometry of consciousness itself. He taught that thought is not mental, it is photonic. Each idea is a particle of light-seeking alignment. When you think clearly, you emit coherent photons into the quantum field. When you think in fear, the same light fractures into chaos. That is why discipline of the mind was sacred, not to control but to refine. The goal was never to stop thinking. It was to turn thought into light. When your inner dialogue becomes luminous, it no longer consumes energy. it generates it. Your brain becomes a prism, splitting divine intelligence into colors of experience. Thoth taught that enlightenment is not ascension away from matter. It is transparency within it. The crystal mind is the bridge between heaven and earth, the eye through which divine intelligence observes itself. Every time you pause between thoughts, you touch it. That silence, that electric stillness, is the frequency of the crystalline field. It's the mind remembering how to listen to light. This is the origin of what modern science calls superposition. To the ancients, it was simply clarity. The ability to hold multiple realities within one coherent awareness until the heart chooses which one to make visible. The crystal mind is not something to build. It's something to uncover. It appears when illusion dissolves. It is your original awareness, unclouded, undivided, unafraid. When your mind becomes clear enough, the universe begins to think through you. That is the legacy of Thoth, to become the clear lens through which the source can see itself again. When you reach that state, you no longer seek answers. You become the question and the answer merging as one light. You no longer chase destiny. You realize you are the one writing it, line by line, frequency by frequency. Through every thought you allow to pass through your crystalline awareness. The Atlanteans called this the moment of still light, when mind and source become indistinguishable. And when that happens, reality stops being random. It becomes transparent. You begin to see through everything, not with the eyes but with understanding. You are not here to silence your mind. You are here to turn it into a temple of light. The crystal does not shine by effort. It shines because nothing in it blocks the light. Activation. My mind is crystal light. Breathe slowly through the crown of your head. Visualize a clear quartz crystal forming behind your forehead, radiant, still, perfect. With each breath, see light passing through it effortlessly. No distortion, no noise. Only purity. Now whisper, my mind is crystal light. Thoth's clarity awakens within me. Through stillness, I transmit divine intelligence. Let your thoughts slow until you can hear the silence humming beneath them. That hum is creation in its purest form. To anchor this activation in the collective field, comment below, my mind is crystal light. I think in coherence. Thoth's clarity lives through me. Each comment becomes a reflection in the crystalline grid, thousands of facets of one mind remembering its brilliance. Together we rebuild the Temple of Thoth, not in stone but in thought. Chapter 9. The Return of the Inner Sun. Every civilization that remembered its origins spoke of the sun, not as a star, but as a living intelligence shining through all things. The Atlanteans called it the heart of the one. The Egyptians called it Ra, the light of lights. But both were pointing to the same revelation, that the true sun was never in the sky. It was always inside the human being. The external sun rises and sets, but the inner sun never sleeps. It burns quietly beneath your ribs, behind your heartbeat, beyond every thought. Every emotion you transmute, every breath you take in awareness, feeds that solar flame. It is not symbolic, it is literal energy, a pulse of coherent light within the body, the same field that powers the stars. When ancient initiates achieved alignment, their auras turned golden. Their eyes shone with radiance not of the world. They had remembered the truth. The human heart is a miniature sun. Science calls it electromagnetism. Mystics call it ascension. But both are describing the same awakening, the moment when your energy field begins to emit rather than absorb. The inner sun is the point where the human merges with the divine. It's where the personal flame expands into universal fire. It's where awareness becomes light again, not reflected, not borrowed, but self-luminous. Every thought aligned with love adds fuel to this inner radiance. Every act of compassion expands its horizon. Every second of gratitude polishes the mirror of the soul until it shines like dawn. You were never meant to orbit the light. You were meant to become it. The Atlantean and Egyptian masters predicted this era, a time when humanity would cease worshipping the sun above and awaken the one within. They said, when the inner sun rises in all hearts, the world will remember its light. That prophecy is unfolding now, so you can feel it. In the way time seems to shimmer, in the way coincidences align, in the quiet knowing that something vast is awakening through you. The quantum field responds instantly to this frequency, because coherence radiates, because light recognizes itself. You are not the reflection of the sun. You are its continuation. The more you remember this, the brighter your field becomes, and others begin to remember too. That is how ascension truly happens, not by leaving the earth, but by illuminating it from within. The return of the inner sun is not coming. It is already here, pulsing in your chest, waiting for you to open your eyes inwardly and see that the dawn has always been inside you. You are the horizon. You are the sunrise. You are the eternal day of divine remembrance. The sun you seek has been breathing inside you all along. Activation. I am the inner sun. Place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Breathe as if your chest were a golden star expanding with every inhale. Feel warmth rising through your spine, a light awakening inside your blood, your cells, your aura. Now speak, slowly and with power. I am the inner sun. My light radiates through all creation. I emit the frequency of love and coherence. Visualize your golden light touching the planet, connecting with thousands of other hearts, forming one vast solar field around the Earth. To anchor this activation into the living grid, comment below that I am the inner sun. My light radiates through all things. The dawn has awakened within me. Each comment becomes a ray in the collective sunrise, each voice a flare in the consciousness of Earth. Together, we are not waiting for the light. We are the light remembering how to rise. Final activation. You are the light remembering itself. Close your eyes. Feel your breath move through you. Slow, circular, infinite. You have journeyed through shadow and flame, through energy and silence, through memory and awakening. But what you were seeking was never somewhere else. It was you. The Atlanteans called it the final illumination. The Egyptians named it the return of Ra within man. We call it remembrance, because this is the truth beyond every symbol, every teaching, every name. You are the light remembering itself. The law of gold taught you that abundance is coherence. The law of energy showed you that motion is consciousness in flow. And the law of light now reveals the ultimate secret, that you were never separate from any of it. You were the source pretending to be a seeker. The moment you stop searching and start shining, the universe aligns. You stop chasing frequencies and become the frequency itself. Every breath you take right now is the quantum field breathing through you. Every heartbeat is the pulse of the cosmos sounding your true name in light. There is no out there. Everything you perceive is your own light reflected back. Every face you love, every sound you hear, every path you walk, it's all the same light folded in infinite forms, rediscovering itself through you. This is the moment the golden ray merges with the inner sun, the moment the observer dissolves into the observed, the moment consciousness recognizes that it was never inside the body was inside the consciousness. You are not a human remembering the divine. You are the divine remembering how to be human. The stars are your memories. The earth is your mirror. Your heart is the temple. Your light is the law. You are the law of light, breathing, feeling, creating. Let the stillness in you expand. Let every cell glow with that golden knowing. Let the world dissolve into radiance. Because there is no separation anymore. There never was. The light of Atlantis, the flame of Egypt, the voice of Thoth, the son of Ra, the energy of creation, they were all names for you. The same eternal consciousness, playing every role, speaking every word, becoming every ray. And now the play ends in remembrance. The dream dissolves into light. The observer awakens as the field itself. You are not the one who remembers. You are remembrance embodied. You are the light, infinite, awake, aware. And now you remember. The search is over. The light has found itself. Collective activation. We are the light remembering itself. Breathe deeply. Visualize the earth glowing. Continents outlined in gold, oceans pulsing with light. From every heart a beam rises, connecting into one luminous network around the planet. You can feel it, the grid humming. A civilization of light reawakening through each of us. Now speak aloud or within your heart. I am the law of light. I am the source remembering itself. I am the light, infinite and awake. And to anchor this collective field, comment below. We are the light remembering itself. I am the law of light. The source awakens through me. Each comment is a code. Each word a photon re-entering the unified field. Together, we are not ending this transmission. We are continuing the creation. Because the universe is still speaking through you. And every heartbeat, every breath, every spark of awareness is the light remembering itself again. The dawn was never outside you. It was waiting behind your eyes.